Guys, I don't like it. You know how I've been scrap busting lately, trying to get rid of my scraps? Well, I thought I would use my cotton scraps to make a dishcloth, but this part from here to here is actually a thinner weight, and it just doesn't feel right. This feels nice and dense, so I think I'm gonna frog it. I kept going, thinking things would change, but you know, that doesn't always happen. And the more I look at it and the more I feel it, the more I don't like it. Oh, and if you're wondering where all of the scraps came from, I will show you that in just a second. I've been knitting, or not knitting, I've actually been crocheting a lot of market bags, the mesh market bags. Like I showed you in my previous video, I've got like 9 of them done now. So I'm going to show those to you, and yeah, but first I think I'm going to eat lunch. Yes, I have ramen noodles today. Sometimes you just gotta have the ramen noodles, but anyway. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What do you say? I think it's time for another tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a dishcloth, a simple dishcloth. And I'm also going to share this little mistake with you so that you don't have to make the same mistake that I did. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be considered a mistake if you don't really care about mixing different weights of yarn, but I will share with you the difference here in just a second, okay? And we're going to probably frog this. Okay, I've got you set up on my tripod. I just wanted to share with you, I started this dishcloth last night and I was making it out of my scraps because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been stash busting and using up my scraps of yarn. Well, these are a bunch of cotton scraps that I had left over from making some crocheted mesh market bags. And they were just tiny little bits that I decided to mix together for a dishcloth. But I wasn't really thinking about the different weights of yarn that I had going here. And I started it off with the regular number 4 cotton. But then I went into this other here. I don't know if you can see it, but where the pink starts here, it's a thinner yarn. So it's not as dense as this is here. And it just feels really fine and drapey. But then I moved into, and you can probably tell here, these yarns, which are a number 4 cotton, and look how thick and dense they look. And they're like stiff too. They're a little stiffer. You can tell how drapey this is. You can see through it. So yeah, I'm gonna frog this. Look at that. When I hold it like this, you can see through this part, but you can't see through this very well at all. And here I have 2 examples of the weights that you can use. This is the thicker number 4. It actually even feels a little rough, like a little scratchier. And then this is a finer number 4. I think it said it was number 4, but as you can tell, it is definitely thinner. So we're going to start with this. As I do the tutorial, we're going to make a dishcloth with this. I hope it's enough for one. I'm not sure. But that said, let's go ahead and frog. I may just frog the whole thing, make it easier on myself. I'm going to do a time lapse during the frogging. And if you don't know what frogging is, well, this is frogging. You rip it, you get it? Like rip it, but this is ribbit. I'm ripping it back. I'm just, all that work I did last night, ripped. Whew, we're about halfway done with ripping back. And I thought I would show you this really quick. if you wondered how I had connected all of my yarns together since they were scraps, I actually used the magic yarn ball technique. So as you can see, it's just a tiny little knot. And I do have a tutorial on how I did that up on my channel, so I'll link that down below in the description. It's the way that I love to tie all of my ends together, or not ends, but my my scraps. I love tying all my scraps together with the magic yarn ball knot, or the magic knot ball. I make a, good grief, I make a magic knot ball, and yeah, that's how I do it. And that way it ends up being just a huge ball. Now look at that, guys. You can see the difference in the weight of yarn here, that I went from this to this, and that is where that really thin cotton came in so drapey. So yeah, that's my mistake, but I think I'll like it better if I start over. I kept looking at it last night and thinking, you know, I'm just not happy with it. So sometimes you just gotta rip it out. And there we have it. We have come to the end of ripping out the dishcloth. It's gone. And I will decide what I'm going to do with this magic knot ball later. Like I said though, guys, I will link in the description how to make a magic knot ball like this so that you can get all of your scrap yarns made into one ball. Just don't mix the weights like I did, otherwise you'll have the same problem. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So I'll probably put a timestamp at the beginning just in case people don't want to hang around while I frog. But I'll put a timestamp at the beginning so people can jump to the tutorial if they'd like to. All right, so like I mentioned, we're gonna just use this yarn here, and it is a number 4 weight worsted weight yarn in cotton. You'll want to do cotton if you're going to do a dishcloth, because that way it's absorbent and, you know, you can use it for scrubbing. And what I use also is a number 7. Let me tap my screen. There we go. I'm using my bamboo Takumi US number 7. It's 4.5 millimeters. And these are by Clover. So what I do first, I'm gonna kind of assume that you know how to cast on, but I'll do it slowly in case you need help. I do my loop and pull it through to make a slip knot. And we start out with 4 stitches. Let me snug it up. This counts as your first stitch. So we're gonna do 3 more. There's 1, 2, 3. So we've started out with 4 stitches. I usually don't have a very long tail, but if you feel more comfortable having a longer tail, then do that, just so that you know your yarn isn't going to get away from you. We're going to turn the work and we're going to knit across. So we're going to knit 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now from here on out, it is very simple until you get to the middle of the dishcloth. So the next half of your dishcloth is a 1 row repeat, and you are just going to keep doing that row over and over until you have about 45 stitches on your needle. So what we're going to do is we're going to knit 2. Oops. I'm using super short needles, so it's a little hard to grip them right now. You can use any length you want. You can use straight needles. You can use 16-inch. I think these are definitely not 16-inch. I'm not sure what these are. Maybe it's 12 inches. But we're gonna knit 2. And then we're gonna do a yarn over. Just wrap the yarn over the needle and then knit to the end. And that's it, guys. That's what you're gonna do. You see there's a little eyelet right there, the little hole we just created. That's your center point right there. That's gonna be the little center eyelet at the bottom of your dishcloth, or at one corner. So then we're gonna do that again. We're gonna knit 2, yarn over, and then knit across, and make sure you knit that eyelet, knit that one that you did a yarn over on the previous row. Turn again. Knit 2, yarn over, and knit across. There's the eyelet. And at first it's going to look kind of strange, but as you can see, it is starting to take shape, because this point right here is going to be a corner. Oops, I'll get some more yarn there. I'll do a couple more rows. We knit 2. Yarn over, knit across. And I'll do one more row, and then I'm going to pause the video, get to the midway mark, which is 45 stitches, and then I'll come back and show you how to decrease down the other side. There's knit 2. Oops, there we go. Yarn over, knit across. And that is it, guys. So keep doing this until you have 45 stitches on your needle. And then I will come back when I'm there too and show you how to complete your dishcloth. And look, there now you can actually see little eyelets coming up each edge. There's going to be eyelets on like all the way around the edge of your dishcloth. All right, I'll be back in a second. All right, I am back, and this is all I've got left. So I'm not sure if I'll have enough to finish this dishcloth, but if not, I'm going to just add some more white, because I do have some more white cotton, and I'll just add that on at the end to finish it off. But that said, I have now got 45 stitches on my needle. So we're going to start decreasing. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to knit 1. And then we're going to knit 2 together. So we're going to do the next 2 stitches together. Yarn over, and then the next 2 stitches together. And this is also going to be repeated all the way until you only have 5 stitches left. Then we're just going to knit all the way across. So you've got knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, 2 together, and then knit across. So I will do that with you guys for this row and maybe the next one. Yeah, so it took me a little while to do this. I just sat down and watched a little YouTube while I did it. I figured that would give me something to do. And guys, it is, gosh, it is like 118 degrees here today in the Las Vegas Valley. So I think after I get this finished, I am going to go jump in my swimming pool because it is just, whew, it is a scorcher. I went outside with my little dog a little while ago, took a book outside, sat down. I think I read 2 pages before I had to come back in. Oops, this just wants to, there we go. Get across this row. Takes a little longer to get across 45 stitches than it did when I was showing you how to start this. But I hope you guys are having a great summer. Let me know what you're doing this summer down in the comments. I had my son here for a couple of months, and then his dad came and picked him up, took him back to the Bay Area. So he's going to be with his dad for the next month or so, and then his dad's going to take him back to college. So I probably won't see him again until December. But hopefully he's going to graduate from college early, and if so, then this is his last year of college, and I'll be picking him up. More than likely I'll be picking him up in December. All right, so now we've got to the end of this row, and we're going to turn. Whoops, and we got to have the yarn behind. You always want to make sure your little bumps are on the front and the yarn coming from behind. So once again, we're going to knit the first one, and then we're going to knit 2 together. Yarn over, and then knit 2 together. And this is how you're gonna decrease and form the triangle as it gets smaller and smaller. So what I think I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna finish this row, and then I think I'm gonna go jump in the swimming pool for a little while. And then I'll come back and I will finish knitting this side until I get to the 5 stitches that you need to knit to. And when I have 5 stitches left, I will come back and show you guys how we're going to finish it. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have done any of my other tutorials or followed any of my other tutorials. I do have a mitered square blanket tutorial, and I have a tutorial on how to knit an asymmetrical shawl, and I also have that tutorial on how to make the magic knot ball. So I'm gonna keep coming up with different little tutorials like this. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. Let me know if there's any other items that you want to learn how to knit. Leave it in the comments, and maybe I can make a tutorial for that as well. I'm just kind of keeping them a little basic right now so that it's easy for everyone. But yeah, any opinions or ideas, just let me know. But I've just about gotten to the end of this row, so I am going to pause the video again, and I will come back when I get down to the last bit. Like I said, continue repeating this row until you have only 5 stitches. And I will see you there. You can see, sort of, it's already forming the little corners here. And we're gonna start getting smaller and forming the rest of the square. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Pull time. Guys, it is hot out here. The water is actually like 91 degrees. It's hot. All right, I think it's time to go back in and finish knitting. All right, we have run out of daylight, but I am comfy cozy and I'm getting ready to finish my knitting down to the 5 stitches, and then I will still show you guys tonight how to finish this dishcloth. Oh my goodness, I was playing yarn chicken. As you can see, I'm down to 8 stitches and I'm gonna have to tie on a little more white, but I'm almost there. All right guys, I'm back. We are going with the flow tonight. It is like 10:30 p.m. now, but I want to go ahead and get this video finished. So anyway, I got the rest of the white attached. There's not that much before it starts changing colors again. I used the ball that I unwound, or that I frogged earlier, but I've got it attached. I am down to 6 stitches, so I'm going to go ahead and knit the rest of this with you guys because we need to get down to 5. We're still doing the same as we were all along for the second half. So I'm going to knit 1, and then I'm going to knit 2 together. Then I'm going to yarn over, and there's my knot. Hopefully it won't be too visible. Then I'm going to knit 2 together. If we can get it. And then the last stitch is knit. We're going to turn. All right, so we're down to our 5 stitches now. And what we're going to do is we're going to knit 2. One, 2, and then we're going to knit 2 together. And then we're going to knit the last one. So that was knit 2 and then 2 together and then 1. And now we are back to 4 stitches, which is what we started with. So all we're going to do with those 4 stitches is we're just going to bind off. And the way I bind off is I knit 2, and then I pass that first stitch over the second one, knit another one, pass that first stitch over, knit the last one, pass that stitch over, and then you can literally just cut the yarn, pull it through, And then all you need to do is weave in the ends. And you've got your dishcloth. So, wow, we did it. We did it before midnight. And it really doesn't take that long to do these dishcloths. I just took lots of breaks today, and I hope you guys didn't mind seeing my pool time and the frogging of the previous dishcloth. I just thought it would be fun to do like a little vlog style tutorial. I may end up just posting only the tutorial part as a separate video again in the future. Or I may just do another video for another dishcloth. So we'll have to see. Oh, but like what I said at the beginning, I was going to show you guys how I ended up with all of these scrap yarns. So let me just do that real quick and then we'll call it a night. I'm going to go grab some of those mesh market bags and just show them to you really quick, okay? Look at this. Ta-da! Hang on, I'm going to zoom out now. There we go. So guys, I have been on a mesh market crochet kick. Yeah, so this is what I've been knitting. Not knitting, crocheting. I will link to the tutorial for this down below. Actually, it's not my pattern, but I found a tutorial here on YouTube on how to do this. So I have become addicted to these mesh market bags. I'll show them to you really quick. I'm thinking about doing some markets this fall. So, you know, I decided instead of just having beanies and, you know, scarves and things like that, this time I want to have some market bags for sale. So, yeah, what do you think, guys? They're really fun. This was a stash buster, this one here. I had 3 different balls of yarn that I combined that I had remnants of, but most of them I just, you know, I had solids, and this was a nice variegated one that I had. My son thought I needed a black one, so I made a black one. And then once again, here's another one that's made out of remnants. I had a couple of different, a couple of different balls of yarn leftovers that I combined there because there wasn't enough for a whole one. And last but not least, this one. And it's got 3 different balls of yarn because I ran out of what I used here for this one. So I used it for the body, and then I just used a couple of different colors for the handles and the trim. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. I know this video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would, but I hope you enjoyed this style of video. Let me know down in the comments, and hopefully I will have another video up really soon. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I'm going to relax for the rest of the evening, maybe have some ice cream, and then I'm going to bed. But take care, guys, and I will see you again in the next video. Happy knitting and crocheting! Bye!